got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Episode 51 of the Erick and Brad Show. ErickandBradShow@gmail.com. ErickandBradShow@gmail.com. If you want to email the show and tell us what you love and what you hate about it, and tell us that you love our guests that we have, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere else that you can find podcasts is where you can find us and follow us. Today in the show, it's going to be a great show. I mean, episode 51. We're going to talk about how if you take all the guns off the street, then nobody will kill each other. And that's going to be an amazing, serene, peaceful society. And then Brad's going to apologize to Star Wars fans around the world. And it's going to be a great episode. My name's Brad. This is Eric. How's it going, buddy?
Fantastic. How's Brad's week been going?
Oh, going good.
Yeah? What did we get done this week?
Just living that... Oh, fuck. I survived the work week.
Did you?
Alive.
Fantastic.
Alive and breathing. It's great weather outside. You know, it's like a chilly, like in the 50s, but sunny, which is fine with me.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
fucking
negative
great.
20, so we're doing good.
No, the ground is dry. And just rocking and rolling. I was just watching The Last Blockbuster on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that
you,
in Bend, Oregon?
You ever... Yeah, I was going to say, you ever make it over to Bend?
Here and there. I've never really hung out in Bend. I went and drove in one day. I know I've been there.
You should go to The Last Blockbuster.
I know I've been there when I was a little kid, but I definitely went there for a show. But we drove in, went to the Les Schwab Amphitheater, bam, bam, and then then it was 1 o'clock in the morning when we were leaving, so I didn't really hang out in Bend. I will say that theater did dope. It is super cool amphitheater. Bend looks
Did they
cool.
pay you in tires?
They did not pay me in tires. They did not pay me in tires. It was a cool spot, though. But okay, let's continue with The Last Blockbuster.
Well, I was saying you should go to it. I'd want to go to it.
You know what's
you can
funny
rent movies.
is we'd probably... It'd be a hard rent because I'd have to drive there, rent a movie, drive back home, and then I'd be like, well, shit. This is going to be we're getting a late fee. Guaranteed we're getting a late fee.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just one more Blockbuster video rental store for all of our listeners 18 and under. People used to rent movies and then have to take them back. And there's one left in Bend, Oregon, where people still go and rent movies, apparently.
Well,
I don't see how they're paying the rent.
What is so special with Bend? How are they keeping it alive? How is there one
I don't
town
know.
in America that's kept the tradition going?
It was like in 2018, they were down to like 4 Blockbusters left, and 3 of them were in Alaska, and the other one was in Bend, Oregon.
Have you ever been to Bend?
I feel like I've been through it. I can't remember.
You know what
though.
it is? It's the hipster capital of the fucking world, is what it is.
Yeah.
You got Portland,
Yeah.
which is starting to fall off. They were like
Yeah.
super hipsters, but hipsters aren't like, now you got to have like hairy armpits and smell funny to be in Portland, where all the hipsters moved over to Bend, where it's just a little bit, I guaranteed that's what's going on. It's just hipsters.
Yeah.
And they're like 90s, bro. Keeping that shit real.
I should move there. But they're like, so they're people like, yeah, we don't have internet. We just have the DVD player, and we rent our movies still.
It's fantastic. I miss it. It's the nostalgia that comes with it is just crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I miss going. I loved it. It was a fun, I don't know. It was fun. I loved your mom taking you there, and
yeah. Well, it was always like, the mom would pick out her movie, one kid would pick out his, then the other kid would pick out hers, or you'd go with your girlfriend and she would get her movie, you'd get your movie. And I don't know, is an interesting documentary to watch. And they were saying in it, which I never knew about, they were like, So in the early 80s is when movie studios started selling movies to people in the early 80s on VHS tapes. And they would cost about $100 to buy a movie on a VHS tape.
Before that
And
time, you only
You
watched
couldn't.
movies at a theater. You did not watch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
which is weird. If you would have asked me when could you actually buy movies, I'd be like, I don't even know
Wait,
where to
what
think.
year did
I
you
don't
just
even know
say
where to
that
start.
was?
In the early 80s.
So Star Wars: A New Hope was already out, and you couldn't even take that home. You had to have watched that in a
guess.
theater. I never even thought about
Yeah.
that before. That's bananas. That's
No,
before my time,
and
obviously.
Yeah. And the VHSs would cost $100 because movie studios thought that that was a fair price because they were like, well, if it costs like $5 to go to the theater, 10 people can watch this movie in their house. Like, we have to charge, what should we set a price as? Like $100. And
Is
shit
that
that.
like inflation or straight up $100 in that time
No, $100 price tag.
in 1980,
Yeah.
which is probably more like $250 or something like that in today's, a lot more
Probably,
money
yeah.
in today's money.
But then some entrepreneurs got the idea, we'll just buy these movies and rent them to people. And then the movie studios, I guess, sued all these little video rental stores that popped up everywhere that were just owned by one, mom and pop kind of things. And then it went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled in favor of these video rental places, being like, no, once you buy something, it's yours to do with it what you want to do with it. So these video rental stores could stay in business. And actually, they made a fucking shitload of money. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I never knew that, so that's kind of weird.
That's cool. That is cool. That's an interesting little history of that. The nostalgia that comes with it, I miss it so much. It was so fun. And I had a really strict childhood growing up, so it was definitely a lot of, when you talk about the mom gets her movie and you get your movie, there was a lot of like, Mom, can I get this movie?
Yeah. No,
And
put it
then,
back.
No, put it back. I remember vividly. So, I'm going to say this, and it's not to get weird at all, but I remember like my parents got the divorce. You know what I mean? I was like 9, 10. And before that time, and then 11, 12, I don't know what happened, but there was a lot. It's so funny that we're talking about this because it's one of the most vivid memories I have of my childhood is video rental places. I remember it was a huge part of my life. Like, Mom, can I watch this movie? And she'd be like it was straight up until a certain age, I could only get PG and G. You know what I mean? Like that was it. Like I wasn't even allowed to get PG-13. And then a little bit later, PG-13, into like the 4th, 5th, 6th grade, you know what I mean? I could get like PG-13 movies, no R's. And I remember in the 6th grade, had to have been the 6th grade, we had moved to Idaho. My parents got divorced. We moved to Idaho. And, we were in Idaho for like a year, and it was still that way at movie rental places. It was like, no, put that movie back. And one day, I don't know what was going on in my mom's life. Maybe she was just like too stressed out or whatever. But I went for it. I went. She was sitting in the car, and she's like, "Okay, go pick." I think she was gonna like leave me alone for a night or something. So she's like, "Go get a few movies." You know what I mean, to keep yourself busy. It was more. I'd get like 3 or 4 movies. And so I'm in there searching around. She's in the car, and then I like see. They have South Park season 1 and like season 2 like sitting, like you could rent the season or like discs. I can't remember, but it was South Park and it wasn't the movie. It was like seasons. And I remember being like, I knew what South Park was from the, because in the late 90s, fucking Bigger, Longer, and Uncut came out. And it was like, I knew what it was. I don't think I ever saw it, but I was like, it was huge. South Park was so big. The movie was so big. And I remember going out to my mom's car, and I was like, Mom, can I get... And she knew what it was. Everyone knew what South Park was. You know what I mean? And it was even a bigger deal back then because, it was like when Grand Theft Auto came out. Like, even parents knew what that was. They're like, no. You know what I mean? That's the devil game. You know what I mean? It was like, everyone knew what Bigger, Longer, Uncut was. And it was like, no, that's the devil. And I remember going out to my mom's car, and I'm like, Mom, can I get South Park? And she's just like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm just like...
This is gonna be the best night ever.
Oh my god! I run back in. Oh my god! Before she changes her mind and get South Park and just, yes, this is awesome. And then got South Park, and my life changed that day. I remember everything about that day. I remember going home and just like it was a race, it was just. Then I just started absorbing, and then you get what I am today. You know, that day changed my life. I know it did. If it wasn't for that day, I would have been a different person.
Fuck. Yeah, and then I guess a lot of these video rental stores, when they popped up pre-Blockbuster, there was always the back room with the beads hanging, and
yeah,
people would go in there, and I'm sure a lot of kids would try to like sneak in there. But Blockbuster's thing was, we don't have that.
A lot of them were like that. A lot of them straight up didn't have that. If they were like, the one we had in San,
which was smart, actually.
The one that was out in Ponderay, it wasn't Blockbuster, but it was another like generic video store. What was that? I want to say On Cue, but that was a fucking audio CD place. Movie gallery. It was Movie Gallery that we had out in Ponderay.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were the same way. Any of those like corporate style video places, they didn't.
Yeah.
They really didn't f with that. You know what I mean? They didn't want to have.
That's smart.
They didn't want to have the backlash of the parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a huge thing in the 90s and 2000s. You know, in like 2000s, you didn't f with parents because they would like they would ruin things. And it was like there were certain things that come out like every year that would challenge the parents. It was like you remember Slim Shady LP comes out, and it was every shooting at a school was either Marilyn Manson's or Eminem's fault. You know what I mean? Like any kid killing himself was Eminem's fault, or you know what I mean? And then same thing with you didn't have with parents. GTA when GTA came out, they tried so hard to like ban that game. I don't know if you remember that, but that was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "There's hookers in a game. You can beat up a hooker in a game. Like this is gonna ruin our youth." Da 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 da.
Yeah, because it was probably parents wanting that explicit content sticker on CDs and shit like that.
Yeah, but they were going even further. You know what I mean? Like with GTA, Eminem, I don't know. You know, every year it was something new that they were attacking. Do you remember the game Manhunt? Yeah. It got a lot of publicity, but the game never blew up, so it kind of just all died out. But there was a game. It was like incredibly graphic. It was bananas. But it was around GTA 1 time, is PS2 right when PS2 came out or somewhere in there. It was this game where the idea of the game was you're this dude. I think you were like a convict, and they gave you a shot at being freed from your prison sentence.
Uh-huh.
Like I think that was the story of the game, and it's been forever since I played it, but I'm pretty sure the storyline of the game is that. And then what they're going to do is they're going to drop you in these different situations. And then there are a bunch of other prisoners that their job is to kill you. And your job is to escape. And they're filming everything.
Parents didn't like that.
Well, no. They're filming everything. Like in the video game, they're like, so like you're constantly like on camera. And you're like walking through these mazes trying to get out of these situations. But you would like brutally like you'd get weapons, and they were like weird weapons. It was like a trash bag, and you'd like sneak up behind someone, and it was like right when the sneaking was like the thing in a video game, like they were getting into that whole sneaking thing where you'd get behind a character, and what you'd do is you'd get behind him, and you have this little meter that kept like creeping up. The longer you'd creep up behind him, and then if you got that thing to red, he'd do like all these different moves, and like he'd like and then it would go to like a cinematic thing. And he'd just be like choking this dude out and with a bag, and the guy's, or it was like an axe, and he'd like get him in the back of the neck, and he'd like, and he'd like just chop the dude's head off and stuff like. It was like super brutal game. Now it's funny because it's not that bad, but man, they freaked out when that game came out. Sorry to go off on that. I'm having nostalgia today. Seems to be a nostalgia day for me.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting documentary to watch. So we have stickers.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic.
Erick and Brad show stickers. I got a bunch of them right here.
That's fantastic.
And if you want one, you can email me your mailing address and I'll send you one.
That's awesome.
ErickandBradshaw@gmail.com. Yeah, I don't know if I think I'm pretty happy with the way they came out. You know,
Are they
I don't know. I'm
like
curious to see.
fuzzy or something like that, or what?
No, I'm curious to see what you think. They're not like glossy. They're like
Matte or something?
I don't know. Yeah, kind of matte feeling. And then also I was imagining, first off, I was imagining they'd come on a giant roll and that I'd have to go through and cut individuals. So that's pretty awesome that didn't happen. But then I was thinking they'd come with like the extra, like a square on the outside. Easier to peel maybe. So this one's, it's just seemed a little more difficult to peel off. I mean, there's still a little bit of white on the outside to peel off. I don't know. I got a fuckload of them. So, yeah. So there's a box on the way to you of a bunch of them.
That's awesome.
But you'll have to let me know what you think. They're 4 inches by 4 inches, which is pretty big. Pretty big sticker.
I like it. We need to set up a way that people can just get online. You know what I mean?
I know.
I don't know how. I've
Some
never set that up.
organization.
I think we've talked about it off air, but we need. Yeah. It'd be dope if we could just. I don't know what the cost is, but if it wasn't that expensive, it'd be cool if we could just set it up to where it's like $1.
Yeah, I don't know
And you
what-
just buy a single and it just ships to you. You know what I mean? And we don't have anything to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
To where
Yeah. That'd be sweet.
like you just like click button, $1, bam, done. We don't want to charge $5. People shouldn't have to buy a stack of them if we were doing. And I don't know if you can set that up. It'd be cool if. I don't know.
I think you can. I'll have to research that when I get my shit together someday.
That's dope though. I'm excited. I'm excited to get them.
You'll have to let me know what you think.
From this angle, it looks great.
I've never had stickers made before. What you're supposed to do is order a sample of a sticker, and then if you like it, then order 200 of them. But Brad just ordered 200 of them.
Oh, whatever.
So, yeah, whatever.
I love it.
So
dude.
if
That's
you want
dope.
one, email me.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
I'll make a Facebook post in a couple days and say, hey, if anybody wants one, email me.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you.
So today's the day.
For what?
So none of you know, obviously, but I had to manipulate some stuff today to skew around some hours. And originally it was because I was going to go to, I think, I was going to go to.
Are you getting a vaccine?
No.
Oh.
Fuck did that come from?
Sorry, nothing.
I was going to go to Eastern Oregon, but plans have changed a little bit, but it worked out either way that me and Brad kind of pushed our episode earlier in the daytime because today's the day. Daddy's going to get a bear today, okay? It's happening.
Oh, Jesus.
Today. I better get one. I'm sure it's not going to happen today. I mean, the odds are stacked heavily against me. But this last week, I'm driving down the watershed. It's like a 9-mile road. What does Daddy see? Fucking black bear crossing the road. It's just like, that's the sign. That's the sign. They're out. They're waking up. It's springtime. They're here. Daddy want one. Daddy need
So
one.
you're going back to the watershed?
Huh? Well, no. If I could hunt the watershed, that'd be dope. But that is highly illegal. No.
Sure.
No, my buddy's got a hookup on. There's a weird thing here in Oregon. I've never dug into what it is. I've just heard people say it over and over again, and I assume what it is. There's I believe it's a company. There's a company called Weyerhaeuser. I believe it's a logging company, and they own like grips of land. Like they have like as much land as state land in Oregon. Like they just own all this land. I believe it's logging, I think is what it is. But they sell rights to go hunt on their property. It's like a big thing in Oregon. So you you get online, you like fill out and they only give out so many hunting access permits. It's like a whole thing here in Oregon. And it's funny talking to people from this side. I'm like, this is not, I mean, I was never the biggest hunter growing up, but it seemed like in Idaho, you didn't do stuff like that. There was so much state land to go hunt on that you didn't have to go. Whereas like here in Oregon, it is a huge thing of like buying places to go hunt. Like either you buy it from Weyerhaeuser or you buy it from people like individuals. You'll be like, hey, I'll pay. It's like a whole racket. People, if they have a bunch of land, they'll be like, I'll sell you, rights to come hunt on my private property. And I'm sure people do that in Idaho, but it's not like there's so much. I mean, shit. Where my aunt and uncle are in Sandpoint is like the backside of their property is just all state land. And it's like a massive amount of state land. You can and it's great hunting. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would you even pay anybody in Idaho when there's so much state land you can just go hunt on? It's like a weird thing here that I don't know. But anyways, we're going to go on some Weyerhaeuser land, and I'm excited. I'm so jacked up. I'm fucking giddy as a schoolgirl to go hunting.
Is it raining?
That's what my buddy's all bitching about, and it's like sprinkling on and off today. And he's like, "We're not gonna get a bear." Blah, blah. I was like, "Well, we're definitely not gonna get a bear if we don't go." Okay, that's a 0% chance. You go from 0. Let's say we even have a 2% chance we get a bear. That 2% is better than a 0%. So let's fucking go.
That's gonna be crazy if you get one.
I am giddy as a schoolgirl.
Can you just shoot any bear you want to?
No, there's rules. I mean, you can't shoot a bear if it has cubs. You're not supposed to shoot a bear if it has cubs, but
and you can't shoot a cub.
And you can't shoot a cub. You can't make yourself a baby rug, which I would like.
No.
Be awesome to have a little baby rug. I don't know what baby bear is called. The equivalent of veal, but I bet it's goddamn delicious.
That's sick. You have to shoot a bear of age.
I'm excited.
Age of consent.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm a giddy little schoolgirl.
That's craziness, dude.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. I'm excited.
I hope you get one.
So let's so I'm still on the hunt for ammo every goddamn week. And really, I'm on the hunt for ammo for my hunting rifle because I have so much 5 and 9 now that I'm kind of done buying it. I've got just stockpiles of it. But I need this fucking 7mm ammo really bad. I need it, and I can't fucking find it. I have 6 rounds left to my name. 6 rounds. That's all I got. I mean, should only need 1, but still, only have 6 rounds. It'd be nice to have some more. And fucking
Jesus.
But I'm sitting there, I'm in Sportsman's Warehouse, and they keep getting like shipments of ammo every few days, and it's a fucking turkey shoot out there. It's crazy. You draw a little ticket, and there's a line, and the little scavengers come out. You got some 9mm, you got some 9mm, you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. And I'm just looking around, and it kind of like dawns on me. I'm just looking at all these people, and I'm like, how come there's no masks shortage? Every single person in America has a mask. It's about like just going through masks. And we never had any hiccup on that. And we went from a demand of 0 mask to a demand of 250 million. And that shit was met instantaneously. Just done.
Yeah.
No one's had any problem with that. But fucking ammo. Like, I really don't understand. There has to be some kind of... There is a fucking conspiracy here. I don't give a shit. At this amount of time, in a free market, there is no reason. There is just no reason.
Oh.
I'm just standing there looking around like, there is no reason that you can't meet this demand. That's bullshit. There's money to be made here. There is fucking money to be made. And why isn't it happening? You know what I mean?
Well, it's like when there was money to be made on hand sanitizer for like a couple months. So all these other places that we manufactured like shampoo, now we're just going to start we're just going to retrofit or convert over to hand sanitizer overnight since there's such a high demand.
It's
like
money.
There's no factories.
That's what I mean.
Factories or warehouses or whatever just converting overnight. Now we're making ammo because of the demand and stuff like that.
And I get...
Yeah, that's crazy.
I get like the toilet paper thing. Yeah, but after enough time, they start pumping some toilet paper out. They're like, okay, there's money to be made. And I also understand I get like a company doesn't want to, like, let's say you're an apple maker and the demand for apples goes bananas. You got to have, at some point, you got to have a sit down with your company or, in the boardroom and be like, okay, I get that a lot of people want apples or apples, but if we overproduce the apples, and we don't meet, and then we don't sell what we've produced, if we overestimate it, we just lose a shitload of apples. You know what I mean? We're gonna have a problem there. So we gotta just boost up until we hit, but we don't want to be left on the other end of this fucked with just too many fucking apples. But then I'm thinking about that, like, okay, if that same thing applies to all businesses, you know what I mean? Like the overshooting of an estimate, like ammo doesn't go bad. You know what I mean? Like so if they overshoot, they okay. So what if you have a stock supply for 2 years? It's gonna sell inevitably. So what's the problem? Like why isn't things just ramped up to 1,000,000% to just meet the demand? I don't get it. And then another thing that I don't understand is pawn shops now are like they're making a lot. All these pawn shops around here, that's their racket now, is ammo.
Guns?
No, it's ammo. They're selling ammo, which I didn't even realize. I never even thought about buying ammo from a pawn shop.
Yeah.
But I bought some a few weeks ago, and then I was at Bi-Mart, and I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I need the 7 mil. Is there anywhere you can think, which is bananas to me. It's such a weird round. It's not 9 mil. It's not 5.56, 2.23. You know what I mean? Like, why are people buying this ammo? This isn't what you go protect your home with. You know what I mean? Like, such a weird round. And the kid's like, okay, go check the pawn shop. The pawn shop's price gouging ammo. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, isn't this illegal, what you're doing? You can't be selling new rounds of ammo for double the amount of money. But they're selling like their 9 mil is $1 a round. That's what they're selling it for. So a 50 pack of 9 mil is $50. And I'm like,
fuck.
This has to be illegal. This has to be illegal. Isn't price gouging illegal? Like, isn't that the definition of price gouging? Like,
I have no idea if it's illegal.
It seems illegal to me, and it should be illegal, and they're pieces of shit. I get like a pawn shop's there to make money, but they're totally capitalizing off of it. I don't know. I don't know the laws about price gouging, but it just doesn't seem right to me. And fuck them. They shouldn't be $50 for a box of fucking ammo. They should be making their money like a pawn shop. It's price gouging because it's bullshit. Okay, let's say it's another product. Let's say you go in with a set of speakers. You know what I mean? Like, let's say I take a set of QSC speakers, brand new, in the box. Let's say it's brand new in the box. $850 set of speakers. You know what I mean? I bring it in to them. I'm like, hey, I need to pawn this fucking speaker. Their price gouging, how they're going to make their profit is on the initial buy. That's the idea behind a pawn shop is, hey, and they're like, okay, how much do you want for this? They're going to be like $200. And you're like, dude, or they'll probably go lower than that. I'll give you $150 for that speaker. And you're like, dude, this thing's worth $850. And they're like, well, sell it then. You know what I mean? So you're like, fuck, $200.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet, $200. You settle at $200. You come in the next day, it's price tagged out at $600. That's how pawn shops work. But they still haven't gone beyond the initial price of the product. They're not going to sell it for $900. That wouldn't make any sense. Because then you just go to Guitar Center and go buy a brand new one. They price gouge the person selling it. That's the whole idea. They're not. It's the first time that a pawn shop that with any other product I can think of is doing the exact opposite. Instead of gouging the seller, they're gouging the buyer. Which I don't know. It makes me so mad.
Well, that's a good point. Everything in there should be market value, I guess.
Under market value. It's a fucking pawn shop.
Under market value, yeah. So people are selling ammo to pawn shops?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I wonder if you could I wonder if now you could actually get over market price for your ammo. I wonder if you could go to a store, buy the ammo, go to the pawn shop for a 5% increase because they're doing 100% increase on their product and go make some money at the pawn shop.
Yeah, but you could do that with private sale too. You could charge a fucking shitload of money.
Which is probably illegal, right?
I have no idea. I have no idea if it's illegal. I mean, if I have some football jersey that I just want to sell for $1,000, is that illegal?
I don't know. I don't know how price gouging really works, but it should be illegal. If anybody else gets in trouble for pretty much the same setup, then everyone should get in trouble for that. There shouldn't be like a loophole around that. And to me, it just seems sketchy. Seems illegal.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It seems sketchy.
You gonna go?
Fucking
we need to
ammo.
take a little break here because they're heading out to Eastern Oregon, so I need to go say goodbyes and stuff.
Okay.
So
You want to stop recording?
No, well, no, I can just write the
Okay.
number down.
Oh boy.
It's fine. Okay, we'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, guys. Bye.
Okay.
30. Oh. Okay, and we are back. Sorry about the break.
God, this room always feels like it gets fucking 100 degrees when I'm in here.
Yeah?
When I did my taxes before, I lied and I hadn't done them. I was just estimating that my return, that I was going to be zero. But then I actually did them on Wednesday, and I fucking owe $1,300.
Rough, son.
Fucking cockface bullshit. I was so fucking pissed off. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? So much for budgeting. Yeah, you may be like, Brad, you spend a lot of money on the fucking dirty back corners of the internet and stuff like that. Yeah, I budget that in. So to have $1,300 just be like, tap, 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 $1,300, and now I feel like I'm broke. Sure, I'll spend $1,800 on an ounce of gold, but for some reason, this $1,300 for taxes makes me feel like now I need to reevaluate all my finances. I already paid it, but it's like, God damn it. And it's like, how do you want to pay for TurboTax? Oh, take it out of my federal return. Click. Next page. You don't have a federal return. God damn it. Fine, I'll pay that too.
Oof.
I was like, how the fuck do I owe money? I've never owed money before.
How do you owe money? So you claim
I don't know.
Do you claim a dependent?
Usually one.
Okay. So that's
I've
it.
never owed before. I've never changed my style of what I do, you know what I mean? But for some reason this year, now I owe. I did make a lot more money, not a lot, but I made more money this year than I ever have before. Plus all the stimulus bullshit.
Do you get moved into a new tax bracket?
Yeah, I did get moved into a new tax bracket.
Welcome to the club, buddy. Yeah, it fucking sucks. It sucks.
That sucks.
This tax bracket sucks.
I'm sick of this country.
Balls. This is the worst tax bracket to be in.
Yeah, it probably is. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was bullshit. I was like, how do I owe money? Cock fuck.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone who was on unemployment all year doesn't owe money.
No, not at all. No, they're balling out of control right now. They just got $1,400 per kid, then get their tax refund. Yeah, they all just made $10,000. You know what I mean? They're sitting with $10,000. They just bought a new car. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
They just bought a few Bitcoins.
And I owe $1,300.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. So stupid.
Dirty dog.
I don't need to make a bunch of tax return money. I'm fine not having like a couple $1,000 tax return. If I was at zero, I'd be fine. For some reason, I owe. I was like, fuck, man.
Guess who's doing...
I also, in 2019, I paid off a shitload of student loans. Last year in 2020, I paid almost nothing on my student loans. And when you're paying student loans, it helps you come tax time.
Yeah.
When you're paying the interest off of them. In 2020, I paid almost nothing on student loans because they put the whole freeze on all of them. So I didn't pay any of them.
Dude.
And that hurt me too.
I told you guys. I know this, to me, this is somewhat the same thing. But I told y'all, and I know Brad didn't listen to me, and probably none of you guys listen to me. But I told you guys that the carnival thing was a good idea. And it's paying off. I wish I would have had more money. I wish I would have thrown more money into it. Because it's every day just 2-3% gain. Every day 2-3% gain. I know.
People are booking cruises.
That's what I'm saying. It was such a good idea. I wish I would have. I wish I could have just taken my whole 401k out and just dumped it in. Then it would have been like a substantial amount of cash you're making. Because right now I didn't put much money into it. I didn't have the money to just be throwing willy-nilly into stocks. But I wish I would have had at least like $10,000. $10,000 would have been great. I'd have been sitting at $2,000 bump right now, which would have been fantastic. But I'll take it. I know I'm going to double my money by the end of this.
Yeah. Probably will.
I don't know. I'm excited. It's great to see.
Remember
that.
when you were going to short Bitcoin and now it's above 60,000?
It's going to drop.
But you're short what you when you were going to do it probably wouldn't have been a good idea. Like I said.
Yeah. You never know when it's going to drop.
No, you don't.
But
You
it's
never
going to
know.
drop.
Well, yeah. Fucking bullshit. I can't believe that shit.
One of our listeners, I was just having a little sit down with, and he is on one about I don't know, I don't follow the fucking Reddit deals and the online trends with that whole thing, but obviously now it's like a thing, you know what I mean, like the planning of fucking hedge fund guys and their shorts, you know what I mean, like they fucking but I guess they're all planning on another GameStop one, which we talked about it for a while, but I just think it's weird. I think, to me, I don't really give a shit either way. I think it's whatever. I mean, y'all do what you want to do. I don't see it being illegal. I do think it's just a weird thing to be doing with the market, but everyone kind of has this like fuck the market type mentality, which I get, like fuck big corporate people, but I also just think if everyone in the world was doing what these people are doing, every economy would just inevitably crash. You know what I mean? Like, if people just get in there and start fucking with markets, you know what I mean? Like, it would have like zero stability, and then companies would never be able to like invest GameStop now can't, now that their company is their company is like quadrupled in its worth. Right now, it was at like $6 or $7 a share or some bullshit like that, and now it's like steady at like $200 and something a share. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
And it's like, but none of that actually reflects the company itself. You know, it has these numbers do not reflect. Whereas like me investing in Carnival, that number is like a direct relationship to how many people are betting on that company, making money, doing good. People aren't going to short it now, and drive the stock down because they're like, why would we short it? The company itself is going to start making money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas GameStop, it's like they're doing the absolute reverse. It has nothing to do with how good the company is. And I get it. I brought that up to him, and he's, essentially like, well, fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just weird to me. It's like, wasn't the initial thing like everyone was shorting GameStop, so all these Reddit guys were like, fuck, you guys are going to sink GameStop. Fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Let's fuck them. You know what I mean? And bet against them and drive it up. But now it's like you guys are essentially going to do the same thing to GameStop that you kind of, the original idea of these Reddit guys were kind of hating on big hedge funds betting against GameStop. And so they're like, fuck you. Well, now you're kind of doing the same thing, even worse. You're gonna drown the company. I would assume. I'd assume that by the end, when the dust settles, GameStop's over. And it's gonna, and in the timeline of when GameStop would have failed, I think this playing with the GameStop stock is gonna crash the company sooner than if the market just did it itself with zero interaction from like Reddit.
But you're saying you're saying the only way that it would crash GameStop is if people at GameStop now don't know how to spend money because their valuation is so high. But that's on them to know our valuation's only so high because of these online people. If all these online people said we don't want anything to do with GameStop anymore, wouldn't the stock just level out again to where it is, to where the actual value of the business is?
But now you've had like 3 waves of people trying to do the same thing, just manipulating your stock.
Wait, so who's he saying is the next company they're going to be doing this to?
GameStop again.
Oh, they're going to do it again. Why don't they just pick a different company? Do it to Bumble.
So supposedly a lot of people are like buying into, that's like the next wave. Is they're waiting for it to fucking spike again.
They should pick a different company. Let's surprise these companies. Like, not just keep doing GameStop. Do fucking Jamba Juice or something.
I mean, more power to you. I just
When I watched a couple weeks ago, when I watched that movie Wall Street, are you still recording?
yeah.
Oh my
No,
God.
one of our guests just popped in the waiting room, so I just, whatever. They're gonna be waiting for a while.
When I watched that movie Wall Street a couple weeks ago with Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas, the whole end of that movie is Charlie Sheen calling up all his other investor friends at companies, being like, "Buy this stock, it's gonna go up." And the stock was at like $11, and he was trying to get it to $17, and he was calling everybody buy. He's whispering in people's ears at their desks, "Buy this stock, it's gonna go to 17." And he's telling everybody and driving the price up. And then as soon as it hits 17, he's standing in the floor of all the investors, and he's like, "Ready?" And it's 17. He's like, "Everybody sell, 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 sell." And so like all it was the same exact thing. This has been happening for 40 years, and I'm like, oh, I forgot the plot of this movie. That's all that's been happening. I know we've already had the conversation, but I don't know. If you want to make it illegal, make it illegal. Fuck it.
I don't really care. I just
Send people to jail though.
I don't want to send people to jail.
I don't care. Send the hedge funds to jail though, not just Joe Blow.
Yeah, again, I've already said this, but I think inevitably you start actually fucking with like average Americans' money. There's a lot of people with money in the stock market that are just average fucking Americans that have $1 million of their retirement in the stock market, and you going in, willy-nilly trying to make a quick buck. And I get, but I feel like I don't know. Okay, I don't know that much, but I feel like a lot of the same people doing all this fucking market manipulation, they don't really understand what they're doing. You know what I mean? And fucking, people are just using it like a casino. And I really feel like watching a few, normal fucking like news reporters talk about this is that there actually is a lot of stability. There's a lot more stock in you can use the stock market to like judge an economy and keep an economy going versus it's not about, there is people in there, straight up willy-nilly roulette table this shit. But then there's a lot of the reason people are shorting things is to fucking check and balance companies. You know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah.
You're fucking getting a little carried away with your company. You know what I mean? It's like, it'd be people shorting Bitcoin. It's like, it's a group of people saying, you're all getting fucking carried away with how badass you think your product is. Like, so check yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And they check it down, which is a good thing to have. You know what I mean? And it's a good, like, it's not always evil. And I get that there's a lot of hedge fund people that have fucked over the I get that. It's just also, it's also like, it's not all evil. You know what I mean? Like, calling all corporations evil. It's like, no, there's good. It's really not. In this day and age, I feel like everyone loves to fucking make any corporate thing, any big business, any big money evil. And it's like, okay, but then you all love your fucking Tesla. You know what I mean? You love driving your fucking Tesla. You love your Samsung fucking computer screen. You know what I mean? Well, if it wasn't for these markets and these things to be able to create huge things, you wouldn't have any of these huge things that you love to take advantage of. You know what I mean? Like, you love to talk shit on all these things, but then like, wow, an Assure SM7B will kiss that shit right out the window. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Shure being able to build the giant corporation, this $500 microphone now would be worth thousands of dollars because it would take so much more for it to get produced and to your doorstep. Kiss Amazon. You like your fucking packages showing up next day on your doorstep? Ki that shit goodbye. Yes. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
I don't know. I just,
that's weird. I heard of something once where I think I heard it on the radio show, or maybe I heard it on Joe Rogan with when Dave Smith was a guest. I think he might have said some guy was like, I'm gonna make like a turkey club sandwich. I want to make a turkey club sandwich, but I want to be able to produce all the ingredients that go into it. And he did it, and it took him like a year, and it cost him like thousands of dollars. I don't know. That just came to my mind when you said that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's weird how people like hate Mark Zuckerberg, but they have an Instagram account that they post on of like their record collection, and that they hate Mark Zuckerberg, but they have the Instagram account. That's so weird. But I can relate to that because I can say, yeah, I hate Mark Zuckerberg and I hate Facebook corporate data privacy shit, but I still have the Instagram account.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird.
I'll play devil's advocate a little bit because I mean, I've already stated my case. I think y'all need, I think anybody just with this fuck the man, fuck the system. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a cool argument and I get where you're coming from, but I'll also, look around you and y'all, life's pretty easy. And the reason life's pretty fucking easy has a lot to do with corporate greed. You know what I mean? Like your fucking BMW outside. None of that's possible without a corporation. Literally none of that is possible. You cannot go down to your local welder and then go down to your local fucking CNC machine and be like, build me a BMW. They're going to be like, I can't. I can't do that. I literally can't fucking do that. Local shit can't make shit like that happen. It can't. It just cannot happen. You have to have, not only that, then you also have to have like, you have to have China involved in it. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. For such a small thing to happen, so much shit needs to happen. And it needs to be corporate and it needs to be big. And, you got to fucking take some evil with that shit. You got to accept a little evil in that. You have to.
Damn.
Utopia doesn't exist. It really doesn't. Sorry.
Yeah, that's sad.
I don't like that. I'm sorry that we go on the same little rants all the time.
All right, so now I have seen every Star Wars movie that exists.
I'm sorry.
So, and I also think last week I was a little harsh on Star Wars. All right. I got a lot of shit for it. What's funny is that people hated what you said more than what I said, which I thought was awesome.
What did I even say? I don't know.
Well, you said if you're a fan of Star Wars, you need to reevaluate your life. And I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that means you need to... I mean, if your house is filled from ceiling to floor with models of Star Wars and shit like that, maybe you need to reevaluate your life. But if you're a fan of Star Wars, you don't need to reevaluate your life.
I may have been... I don't exactly remember the stance I had exactly, but I'll watch a Star Wars movie. Like, I'll do it. I'll sit down and watch a Star Wars movie.
You need to reevaluate your life.
But you just meet a lot of people that are pretty into Star Wars, and it's not that good. It's really not that good. Lord of the Rings is better, so fight me.
Yeah, so I feel like I was harsh last week, but if that's because last week I was only talking about episode 1, 2, and 3, and if someone shoved dog shit down your throat, suffocating you, you'd be harsh against them as well, because those movies were terrible. But then, and you said last week, you're like, I think Disney made 2 movies. And I said, I thought they made 5. Turns out they made 5. So there's episode 1, 2, and 3 that I watched. And then I watched Solo and Rogue One. And then I watched episode 4, 5, and 6. Then I watched episode 7, 8, 9. So there's 11 Star Wars movies.
Okay, they've made Rogue One, Solo, and they've also made 3 more in the mix of those? Or did...
Yeah, then there are 3. There's... The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, so I haven't seen... Yeah, okay. I know I've seen Solo and I've seen Rogue One. I thought those were the only
I liked Solo. I liked Solo, didn't really like Rogue One that much. And then I got to watch episode 4, 5, and 6 again, which was just a real treat. Because it was kind of... Look, and there's a lot of shitty things about them. For one, George Lucas... Within a half an hour of watching the episode 4 in New Hope, I was like, "Oh, George!" I went to my phone. I said, "Hey Google," and I said, "Does George Lucas have a sister?" And it was like, "Bing!" George Lucas has 3 sisters. I'm like, "Oh, George Lucas wants." first half an hour of this episode 4 in New Hope, because Luke's like grabbing R2D2 and like shaking him like, show me the video again of Leia. And I'm like, dude, oh my God. I'm like, and it's like George Lucas, Luke Skywalker.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, George Lucas wants to have sex with his sister, and he has 3 of them. And I'm like, oh my God. And look, I'm down with like a little incest, but this was like, he was like shaking R2D2, like, show me the video again. Do you have more footage? I'm like, oh my God, dude, put it away. Jesus Christ. And then underneath where it says George Lucas has 3 sisters, it said George Lucas net worth. And what do you think that is?
Let's say 80 million.
$7.4 billion.
$7.4 billion?
Yeah, and I was like, fuck you, you motherfucker.
Whoa. I didn't realize he was that rich.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
That's crazy
That's
money.
Crazy. Yeah, dude. I'm like, you motherfucker. But the things I like about those old movies,
I
is
guess
kind
that
of
makes
like,
sense. You know, I think about
Yeah.
I think about other people like Michael Jackson or something like that. You know, or some other big star. You know, someone's big name, and you're like, what are they worth? And you always look it up, and you're like, oh, that's not that much money. But then if you really stop and think about it, let's say MJ, for example, how many people like have MJ memorabilia? Not that many people. How many people have fucking Star Wars shit? How many cars do you pass on the road with little R2D2, C3PO, you know, blah blah blah, and like stupid little fucking things, or like da da da. That's all just lying in George Lucas's pocket, you know, every day.
yeah,
Just,
I'm pretty sure there's like Star Wars t-shirts at Walmart and shit like that.
yeah, that's what I mean. And how many MJ T-shirts
Yeah.
do you have at Walmart? Not that many.
I yelled out into the dark corners of my dark house in the middle of the night. I was
That's
like, fuck
crazy
you,
money.
you motherfucker.
What is that
for
evil
what you did.
motherfucker? What island does he own? You know, that's like, he makes Epstein look like a bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that is
Oh, yeah.
that is way more money than Epstein was dealing with.
He's paying prostitutes to act like his sister.
The fucking president meets him, and he's like, get out of here, peasant. Fucking peasant. You know what I mean? Only what's the Amazon guy's name? Only him and like Elon are fucking around with that kind of money. Jeff
He's
Bezos.
got to be like the richest filmmaker of all time. Like James Cameron probably doesn't
How much
have
is
fucking
Bezos
George
worth?
Lucas money.
What's the difference there?
Oh, I think Bezos is worth like $300 billion.
300 billion? Is that it? He's the richest person, right? Isn't he the richest person?
Yeah. And Elon Musk is number 2. It's $192 billion.
Is Jeff Bezos?
Mm-hmm.
God, that's stupid money.
So George Lucas ain't fucking shit.
He's on the scope though. I mean, he's
Barely.
fucking
It's like if I had $200 and you had $7.
yeah, but then the rest of the world has fucking a penny. You're still fucking.
That's true. Anyway,
You're still getting in the door. You're getting in the door. You know what I mean? Even though I got 7 and you got $200, it's like you got fucking 8 billion people outside the door with a penny, and you're like,
With a
okay,
penny.
get in, get in,
That's
get
true.
in, get in, get in, get in.
Yeah,
nail
yeah,
the door, nail the door. Like,
yeah. But those old 4 ones are nice, but I think they're nice just because from like a filmmaking standpoint, because I'm just gonna go ahead out on a limb and say those were shot on film, while like the new ones were shot on digital.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's always a big thing when a filmmaker now is gonna shoot it on film, like Quentin Tarantino did with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like shot it on film. And like with Lord of the Rings, they shot it on film, but then The Hobbit they shot digital, and everyone was like, oh, it doesn't feel the same. Well, it's like, well, yeah, it doesn't feel the same. They're not making like models of actual castles and shit. They're just putting it in CGI. So I'm thinking the old movies were kind of nicer just from a filmmaking standpoint. I'm guessing because they shot it on film. And there's little things like when someone's like, there's like these doors in like hallways on spaceships and stuff where they push a button and the door goes and shoots up, and you hear like an air compressor noise. But when a character does that and goes to open the door, the character flinches a little bit. And when I'm watching it, I'm guessing they flinch a little bit because they had the actor stand there frozen, and then they probably like pulled the door up really slowly, and then they sped up the shot so that the actor couldn't stand completely still. So it was just a sped up shot, and you saw them flinch a little bit, and little things like that. Like, I appreciate that. It doesn't take me out of it really. It's just like a cool thing to notice, and so those were really nice. And then I watched the last 3 Disney ones, and, I don't really mind them. They're really, like, they're not that bad. They're kind of cool.
Yeah?
It's the first 3 that I hate. So it goes episode 4, 5, and 6, the old ones, then the Disney ones, then episode 1, 2, and 3 in the early 2000s are just dog shit. But the one problem I have with the Disney ones, episode 7, 8, and 9, is because they're just shoving the nostalgia down your throat, like making you suck the nostalgia dick of the old movies. Because the whole first one, episode 7 or whatever, is all just about Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia, and it's like, it's just like nostalgia. They're just riding this nostalgia train. They're probably making it so like dads can watch it with like their kids and be like, oh, there's the new young black character and the girl character, but then we still have the old people in it too. And it's like the whole thing is still just about the old people. So it's really just nostalgia. But I don't think Disney did that bad of a job with it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of movies. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care. I don't care much about it.
No, I know.
I'll go back into some nostalgia days. I remember definitely, like, it was one of the most vivid times of my life looking at those, driving past the theater, and it was like Bigger, Longer, Uncut, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, episode 1, fucking...
Yeah.
it was like right in the Titanic, Independence Day. You know what I mean? It was right in the Matrix. It was right in the heyday, the heyday of movie theaters. And fucking that scene, being on that fucking sign was a big deal. And episode 1 was a pretty goddamn big deal. Like
it was.
All those movies I just named, Titanic, fucking those were packing the seats. Independence Day, packing the seats.
Yeah, and it's like those last 3 that they made, episode 7, 8, and 9, the Disney ones. When I was watching the first one, I'm like, I can feel the director's like influence on this. And I was like, I remember who directed it, but I can't remember. And then at the end, it's like J.J. Abrams. And I'm like, oh, that's right, J.J. Abrams. He's the guy who wrote Lost and made Lost. And he's the one who got death threats and stuff when Lost ended. And he also has made the recent Star Trek movies and stuff like that.
Have we talked?
So those are
have we talked about Lost? Are you a Lost fan?
Well, I didn't watch it when it was on, but I tried to watch it a few years ago, like 5 years ago, and I didn't make it to the end.
Season 1 was it was really good. They locked me in. I remember being really a kid into it.
Yeah.
The longer that goddamn show went on, the more pissed off I'd get. Like, what is even what bananas world are we living in? That the polar bear at the beginning, that was like a cool little twist. And it was like, okay, I'm following you a little bit. I'm following you. Got a polar bear out on this island. But then it just kept on getting more and more ridiculous. To the point I was like, I am done with this show. Fucking, you've gone way too far with it.
Yeah, because if you say like, oh, all these people are going to be stranded on an island after a plane crash and you want to see what happens, I'd be like, yeah, I'd like to see what happens. But then once you get into like, oh, it's magic and some alternate thing and reality, and it's like, all right, I kind of wanted to just see people survive on an island. But then it's like, oh, there's a hatch, there's all these other things.
You can throw in a few twists, you know what I mean? A few cool twists, but literally just kept getting more and more bananas. Just more and more bananas. I remember, like, the last thing I remember is they had to sit in a room and, like, type in a number, like, every hour. And if they missed the number, something bad would happen. And so fucking...
I don't know.
And that was, like, pretty far down the line. Or some bullshit like that. And I was like, this is stupid. And I think there was something about a dude in a wheelchair the whole time. But then he, like, lied about being in the wheelchair. I don't know. Like, it was just... all the people you thought were, like, good ended up being bad people. I don't know. It was just ridiculous. It just kept getting more ridiculous and more ridiculous.
No, I stopped when it was all about the smoke monster. And I was like, oh, smoke monster.
I have no
I didn't
idea
make
what you're
it.
talking about a smoke monster.
There was a smoke monster that was killing people. It was just smoke.
Ooh. It's
Stupid.
like Prey or something like that. I don't know if any of you guys will pick up that reference. So what was the
So,
best?
yeah.
I had one. I thought about something this week.
Okay.
What was? I don't know why. Yeah, and I have a story. So sorry to ask you a question, really, with the intent of my story. But what's the coolest way? I have a feeling you're gonna be like, go fuck yourself. But have you ever done anything interesting when it comes to like asking a girl out or something like that? Like, have you ever gone out of your way to like do something bananas to do it?
Not really, other than like driving along kind of a long way.
Yeah. Okay. How far?
From Sandpoint to Spokane.
To ask a girl out?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't do it. You didn't do it any kind of special way. You didn't.
No. I had just been in Spokane buying things from a store and felt and wanted to ask this girl out and didn't. And then a few days later, I was like, I'm gonna go back to the place and ask her out.
Okay.
So it was a long
Did it
drive,
end well,
a lot of
or
driving.
did it not end well?
No, it didn't. It didn't end well, but I'm glad I did it because it's kind of a cool memory.
Yeah.
I was hyped.
I
up.
like those.
Yeah.
Now I'm honestly so cold that things like that don't really get me excited. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't feel the same way as I did when I was a kid. Like asking a girl out would like start making my heart beat. You know what I mean? Or being in a situation with a girl where now it's like I'll get like excited, but it's more excitement because I just want it. It's more the testosterone coming out in my body. That's just like, okay, it's more that excitement.
Did you ask somebody out this week?
No. But like I remember being in high school, and I remember going to this movie store, and there was a girl who was like 18. She was like out of school, and I thought she was super hot. This isn't the story, by the way. This is just it popped in my head thinking about what you said, and I went with my brother, and I remember leaving, and I said something, and he's like, "Well, go ask her out," and I'm like, "No." I was like a sophomore or something like that. I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that," and he's like,
Yeah.
and
no,
then
no.
he was one of the first people. I mean, obviously, this is a thing you deal with in life, but I vividly remember him having this conversation with me of like, if you don't do it, you'll never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you might as well do it because the embarrassment you're perceiving isn't the actual embarrassment that you're gonna carry more not doing something than if you do something, no matter what it is. So you might as well just do it. You know what I mean? And easier said than done, especially
Exactly.
as a kid. Like it feels like so monumental to do something, especially as a male. I think a male asking a girl, like the weight is just so heavy. It's such a huge mountain you feel like you have to climb. Because for some reason the embarrassment of getting rejected just feels like this mountain.
Well, I don't know. It did feel like a mountain of stress and anxiety, but I felt a huge sigh of relief when I drove to Spokane and she was like, "No, I'm basically married to like my boyfriend." I was like,
Yeah,
all right. I was like,
it's a good feeling.
I did it.
But it's a better feeling than if you wouldn't have done it. You would have
Oh,
you would have
yeah,
thought
yeah,
about it the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like, man, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I try that?
Yeah.
But I remember
I was thinking about it, and then I asked my buddy at work. I was like, "Should I drive all the way back there to ask her out?" And he was like, "Yeah, you should. That's how we do it." It's like that's how we do it. And I was like, "All right, I'm doing it." For some reason, when he was like, "That's how we do it," I was like, "All right, I'll go back."
Yeah. I honestly haven't thought about this in years, and that we had very little interaction, so I don't know her name. Even if I saw her again, I wouldn't even know. But I remember it was the movie rental place. It was the place out in Ponderay. The fucking it was the the flower shop. I don't know if you ever even been in there, but out in Ponderay, there's like a little flower shop that also used to rent.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still rent movies or not, but they used to have a little movie
Probably
rental place
not.
in there. And I went in there, and there's this girl working there, and she was obviously older than me, and super cute, no idea. And then, yeah, we were driving back. My brother talks, and he's like, "Let's go back." And he turns around. We drive back to the place, And he's like, go in there. And I went in. I obviously was denied, I think. I vaguely remember. And then left. And, my heart's beating. He's like, see, better now. At least you went and did it. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
I remember the girl in Spokane. Her name was Lauren. I remember very vividly.
yeah. Okay, but not to...
She worked at a shop where you buy glass pipes.
Ah, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So...
Sorry.
No. You're good. So again, this kind of feels weird because it feels like I'm just bragging. I thought it was a good topic. I was hoping maybe me telling the story will bring up another memory you have or something like that. But so I won't say the girl's name. She's from Sandpoint. Maybe I should. I don't know. Whatever. But there was this girl, and I was super into this girl, and we'd hang out a lot. We never dated. Oh man, this actually brings up more story. I'd go pick her up a few times. I'd go drive. She lived way the fuck down Tallahatchie Road, and I lived way out in Ponderay, so it was like an ordeal to go pick this girl up. But I'd a few nights, I'd sneak out of my house, push my truck in neutral down the driveway, drive out to this girl's house, go pick her up. You know what I mean? And we'd drive back to Sandpoint. We'd just sit in my truck and hang out. A lot of times we'd drive down to Memorial Field, down to the boat launch down there, and just go sit there. You know what I mean? Just hang out. And but I was so into this girl. I thought she was so hot in school. And but she told me we'd do that a few times, and I remember I asked her out or hinted at it, blah blah blah. But she was kind of always seeing this other guy off and on, and I was like, why won't you date me? Why won't you date me? Blah blah blah. And she's like, and inevitably it came to a year of this situation playing out of her teasing me, you know what I mean? And then she finally fast forward a while, because I had moved out of my parents' house, still super into this girl. I was living in the Diagonal house, and I didn't tell anybody in the house I had done this, but she had told me, she's like, I'll date you if you can come up. It was essentially if you can ask me out in a way that a guy never has before, because she was cute as shit. A lot of guys were into her, and fucking, she's like, if you could ask me out in a way no other guy has, then I'll date you. And I was like, okay. And so I took it as a fucking challenge. I'm like, okay, I'll win this bet. I'll do more than any other guy has. So what I did was, we all go over to the Diagonal house, and there's a bunch of people hanging out. She's there, and I call up 1067, and I believe it was the big guy, the guy you see do karaoke around Sandpoint. I believe it was him. I can't remember now. It's been a long fucking time. And he used to work at 1067. Now he works at 95.3, I believe. He does the karaoke. Have you met that guy?
I don't know. Probably.
He's a big dude, big guy. Pat. Super nice guy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But anyways, I think it was him. I don't remember, though. I can't remember who the actual disc jockey was. And I explained the whole thing to him. I call him, he's off air, music's playing. I'm like, hey, I got this girl. This is her name. This is my name. I was like, I told him the situation. I'm trying to ask her out. I'm trying, blah, blah, blah. I'm super into her, And the guy's totally into it. He's like, dude, I love it. I love what you're doing right now. And I didn't even tell him what to say, nothing. I just explained the situation, told him the names. I'm like, okay, we're going to be getting in the car in 5 minutes, and then we're going to go on a little drive, blah, blah. And he's just like...
Did you dedicate a song to her?
I didn't dedicate a song. I just told him the situation, and he fucking... Dude, he honestly nailed it for me. And so then I was like, hey, come with me real quick. And then she gets in the car. I turn on the radio, driving. It was fucking classic, because... I don't think he played. Maybe he did play a song. I didn't ask for a song. I just asked to ask her out on the radio or whatever. And then he went with it. He nailed it. And he's a fucking disc jockey, so he's good at talking. You know what I mean? He nailed it. And it was just, I remember sitting in the car, and we're driving, and it's summertime, and she's looking out the window, and she slowly is he talking about me right now? And just I was like, yeah. And then, yeah, fucking nailed it. Murdered it. I remember going back to the house, and she goes and brags to all the girls, and they were like, "Oh my god," like essentially like the classic like hit their boyfriends, like, "Why don't you do shit like that for?" You know what I mean? Like da 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 da. Multiple
Yeah,
girls
yeah,
came up
yeah.
and were like, "That's the sweetest thing I've ever," God damn it, like blah blah blah. Fast forward 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. We date for like a week or two. My best friend in the world. The hell is going on here? That was weird. My best
That was weird. I got that too.
my best friend in the world, fucking, she's over at my house. I had to work the next morning. I pass out. I wake up in the morning, and I wake up at like 3 in the morning, and like, what the hell is going on in here? And I'm in my room, and she's on the floor, 5 feet away from me, sleeping with my best friend, like banging my best friend 5 feet in my room while I'm sleeping. Was like, you guys are pieces of shit. I was so fucking mad, but yeah, whatever.
That's fucked up. You did the challenge.
I did the challenge. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun deal. I think back on that,
Yeah.
like, God damn it, that I went to extremes to get that girl. Like,
Kind of. Yeah.
kind of. I just,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good idea, though.
Yeah, I mean, I heard someone on a podcast tell a story just like that this week, and I was like, hey, I did that. It was fucking, yeah. The last part wasn't at all what I wanted to talk about, but it just came to mind. Like, yeah, that was kind of a funny way that ended. Me and him are
That's
still
fucked up.
best friends, but I totally forgave him. Just like, yeah, whatever. She was, because I was mad at him, but then he's like, dude, she's a dumb bitch. He's like,
She's
I
a
wouldn't have been
dumb
mad if you would have done the same thing. He's like, you guys aren't going to be together forever. Fuck that bitch. And I was inevitably like, yeah, she's kind of a slut, so fuck it.
Fuck.
Still best friends to this day.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, bros before hoes.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting. That's awesome stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, my return to gambling has been a good one because it was Wednesday night. I was like, well, over the last weekend, I watched our buddy Sawyer on Twitch streaming some Twitch. I can't remember what the fucking game's called now. Hunt Down or Showdown or Countdown or something.
What's he playing?
I forget what the fucking game. Hunt something. Showdown, Hunt Down, some zombie thing. You kill zombies and you kill other players. Lockdown. I can't remember. Anyway.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
But I was watching him stream a little bit, and then so Wednesday night I was gonna do some online gambling. I put $220 on, and a casino thing, and I was like, well, I might as well just stream this on Twitch for the hell of it. So I streamed on Twitch, and I was playing some blackjack online, and I was giving my computer a workout because I don't know. If you know, I don't know why you would know, but whenever I'm doing like podcast prep or now when I'm streaming on Twitch, I'm always watching like a cam girl at the same time. So I'm like streaming this cam girl's stream. I'm uploading my video to Twitch, and then I'm watching my video on Twitch, so I have the chat and stuff like that. And just making sure my stream's okay. So I have my Twitch stream, her camgirl stream. I'm uploading to Twitch, and then I'm playing blackjack at the same time. And I'm just like, it was just a good time. I'm like, this is just some debauchery. And I went from 220 to 620 playing some blackjack online, and cashed that out. Got my 620, and then like last night I was doing the same thing kind of. And just playing more blackjack online. I was just playing dollar hands last night, and I went from $50 to $110. And I'm like,
blackjack? Like that's what you're gonna gamble on is blackjack online.
Well, I feel like it's probably nicer to watch to stream on Twitch than some other shit.
Okay.
I don't know.
I would never gamble blackjack online. I wouldn't gamble blackjack in real life, but
right. I was like playing before I streamed on Twitch and I was doing well, and then when I was starting streaming on Twitch, I was doing worse because I was like overthinking my decisions a little more. I think I was playing a lot more conservatively, so I don't know, but it worked out. And then I have this fucking poker game tonight, so I'm gonna be watching Rounders after this show today because I always watch Rounders before I play poker and just getting that fucking mindset. So I'm gonna watch Rounders today. And this fucking poker game though is like I gotta bring like $200 to it, and now I'm like, and I was thinking when I won on blackjack from 220 to 620, I'm like, there, I just made my poker money for this weekend. Now I have free $200 poker money, but now with the tax, me owing $1,300 in taxes, I'm like, well now this $200 for poker seems like it's not fucking doable. Although I'll do it because I committed.
Yeah. So we talked about this vaguely before the show, and I said stop talking because I don't know how much information you want to give on this, but one of our listeners, that's all right to say, right?
Yeah, our listener Chris.
Okay, he's doing the poker game. And I just want to say
tournament
props. Yeah, props, because I don't know how you got that many people to go in for $100 buy-in. Like, that's badass.
Yeah,
I love it, and I would love to do that. I'd love to do a bigger buy-in and get a real game going, like to where you're going to win a decent amount of money, because it's so hard to get excited. The game I just had was $20, and I couldn't get people past $20. It's like, this isn't exciting. It's not exciting to win $200.
Yeah.
Like, big whoop. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know exactly how you're doing your first, second, third, and fourth place, that crap, but at least the winning is going to, the pot, it's going to be awesome. That's a substantial pot. You'll get into it.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Does he do, like, is he good at the tournament thing? Like the setup of it? He's super into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he drives like across the fucking state of North Dakota to play in tournaments.
Oh, at casinos and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, like, something
I would assume so.
Something I ran into was the people, and I think we talked about it, but the people, like, I don't know, like, complaining about the setup of it, like your blind changes the timing of that crap, and it's like, you know, it's poker turns into one of those things where everyone becomes a master. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's got an opinion, and everyone's like, now I'm really good at it. You know, like they all just have an opinion, and it's like, I think it's something I did good, because I called up a buddy and I started asking him a few questions. I was like, hey, you know, how should we, and then he just started making it more difficult on me. He's like, no, you need to set it up this way. It's got to be done in this time frame. You know, this is the blind increase. This is how it needs to go. And I'm just like, oh, God damn it, go fuck you. You know, I'd already like started setting everything up. And then I found, which I'm sure he'll do if he's played that much at casinos, like, obviously, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But what I found, it was really good at the beginning of my game, is like, I just laid down made everyone shut up. And I was like, these are the rules. This is how it is. You know what I mean? Like, and mine was all set up on a computer. So it was like, there is going to be no arguing. Like, you know what I mean? This is how it is. This is how the blinds go. Revert to this. We're not changing anything now. And it was like, and it went so smooth because of that. And, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Because like, I haven't done it that much, and I didn't realize until I started setting it up that's actually relatively important. You know what I mean? Like, getting the blind shit set up and the blind increases like all set up, and how it's all timed. Honestly, like, everyone when they left the poker game I had, everyone was like, "Man, that went really smooth. You set that up like awesome." But I was like, honestly, I thought it went too fast. I wanted to play longer. That's another thing, is the arguments between the people, how much money they're going to spend on the tournament, is also how long they want to play. You know what I mean? No, it's like no one can agree on all these numbers.
Well, yeah.
Like,
because for some reason he's like, I have it set to go about 3.5 hours. And I'm like, I don't know how you figured that, but he's like, there'll be blind increases along the way.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right.
And so you can kind of force the end of the game. Like, that's how it ended our night was it forced the end of the game. It got to a point where, you know, we chipped up, and even though the final guys at the table have asinine amounts of chips, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was by hour 3, they're getting blinded for a sixth, an eighth of what the actual money on the table is just blinds. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like
I
it's
hate spending so much. I hate having to spend so much to see the cards. I'm like, let's just see the fucking cards. No betting before the cards. Show me the cards.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just want to see some cards.
See,
I'm
but
a
at the end
really
of that
cheap
game,
poker
I
player.
thought it should have lasted longer. We lasted about 3 hours, I thought, and I was like, I think it should have gone longer. I thought the blinds increased.
Yeah.
We did 25-minute blind increases, and the first 2 rounds went
Jesus.
good, but I wanted the game to last longer. I was like, I think the game should have lasted longer. By the time our rebuy, we did round 4. It took, dude, just to get the deck around the table, we had already stopped rebuys. And I was like, it just takes it takes redoing it. Like, it's been forever since I've done it. If he goes to tournaments, obviously he's privy to a lot of this shit, but it was like, I was surprised. I was like, dude, the deck hasn't even made it around the table yet. And we're already
Oh, I see.
We're already round 4 and blind increases. Like, this is crazy. Like, it took.
Yeah, it just seems like too many people. There's like 13 people tonight. It just seems like too many people for me.
That sounds so fun. That sounds so fun. But at 3, I think 3. I mean, obviously, this will all be done by the time you guys hear any of this. But
Yeah.
I think that's not enough time. I think if you figure the blind increase to force people out at 3 hours, I think that many people, my opinion, you should probably push it more to like 4.5 hours for a tournament. Especially with that amount of money, because like at that amount of money, I'm invested now, and now I'm gonna be mad. I mean, whatever. I'm not mad at either. I have no skin in the game, but I would be upset. It's like if I really want to win, and it's just I could see being upset with the rebuys fucking me with like that's bullshit because this guy and this guy and this guy are like really don't care. They're playing stupid. They went out. They got to rebuy. I was playing conservative, trying to win the game, and I end up going out right after rebuys stop because I'm like trying, but I get fucked over on a few hands, and it's like now I can't rebuy. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? And fucking Joe Schmo over here is playing like a fucking asshole, and he's getting in. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas if it was a longer tournament, you get a little bit more lead time to like try to get a chip stack before rebuys cancel you out. I don't know. That's how I felt with mine.
I don't know either.
I was like, God damn it.
My goal is to not be the first person out. However, how conservative I play, I probably definitely won't be because there's some people that, you're 10 minutes in and they're like all in. And you're like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So I play so conservatively that I'll probably be able to stretch my time a little bit. But then once you're left with just a little stack of chips because you played so conservatively, you're like, well, now I'm kind of fucked because now I can't really do much.
Well, see, I did with the $20 one, I was playing crazy aggressive. One, because I didn't care about the money. You know what I mean? And I was like, if there's like no cap on rebuys, I'll fucking rebuy 8 times. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, and that was kind of how I felt, which was that would change if you did $100 buy-in. The money starts changing the way the game is.
Yeah. And the last time we did it was I think February 2020. So it's like a once a year thing. So since it's a once a year thing, like you shouldn't worry about money too much.
Yeah.
It's once a year. February 2020, right before the pandemic. And now we're after the pandemic, and the pandemic's over. So, perfect timing.
Okay. So,
who knows?
I think we should probably take a little break here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, after this, we're going to have Dust Mice on. Did you say anything at the beginning? I think you did.
No.
Oh. So we got a guest coming on. We haven't done a guest in a while. Be exciting. And a returning guest, which I think we have had one returning guest, right?
We've had a couple.
Had a couple? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, we're excited.
I'm nervous.
Brad's always fucking nervous about everything. But we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Can't wait for
welcome back. Oh. Welcome back, guys. We got Dust Mice here. I've met a few of them other than Zane, I believe, on the last time. It was like a year ago, and we're still in mask a year later. So this is Zane. Let's introduce everybody, I guess. So Zane, and then I know I've met the dude on the far left.
Hey, I'm Patrick.
Patrick.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Who else we got?
I'm Nate.
Nate and
I'm Robbie.
Robbie. Nice to meet
Robbie.
y'all. I'm
Yeah.
Eric. That guy's Brad.
Hello.
Hey, Eric and Brad.
What
Nice
up?
to meet you guys.
Yeah, Dust
Thanks.
Mice was actually, they were on the show before on May 10th, 2020.
Dang.
So it's been exactly 11 months
Wow.
since we had you guys on. And it's been, it almost feels like longer than 11 months, doesn't it?
For sure.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's so crazy.
I've been pretty social media absent, so I'm not exactly sure what you guys got going on. I believe you guys have an album you've been working on. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the album's been in the can for a little bit, but it's coming out on the 19th. April
On
19th.
the 19th.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was the 16th.
Heck yeah.
I think
What's
it's the 16th.
16th.
the 16th? Do we got a name?
Earth 3.
It's called Earth 3.
Nice.
Earth 3. Earth 3. Rock and roll.
And
Do you guys?
so is Hepatitis X off that album?
Yeah.
Nice. I was driving around the barren streets of North Dakota yesterday just listening to Hepatitis X.
Nice.
Right on.
All your friends, all
All
your
right.
friends are gone. Yeah.
Is that when you decided to ask me about the lyrics, Brad?
Yeah, because I was driving around and it's a catchy song, and I was just like, hepatitis, and I didn't know what the words were after hepatitis X, so I was like, man, I'm sure it's not like on some lyric site I can go to, but I'm like, oh, I can just message someone in the band and just ask them.
Absolutely.
I guess it's kind of misleading
But,
because it's hepatitis hexagon. And
Right.
hepatitis X is just the shortened version of it for the title.
Yeah, and forgive me if I missed the whole idea of it, but what is it actually about?
Well, I mean,
What's anything about
What is this
Yeah.
song really about?
well, it's specifically about two people piloting a generation ship where they sleep on and off for 15 years on, 15 years off, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But that's just a metaphor, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to dive deep down a nerdy hole, but is it also a reference to A Deepness in the Sky by
It
chance?
is. Yeah, we have a couple other songs referencing obliquely, I would say, this same novel by a guy named Werner Vinge, A Deepness in the Sky. Super cool book.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not
Rock
like
and roll.
Iron Maiden level where we like state the name of the book and repeat that as the chorus of the song.
Does it?
It's just sort of like that's the impulse that the song came from. Like that's, it doesn't really exactly map.
Right.
Did you get?
He took it to a
Yeah.
different place.
Does the album, are like all the songs? Are they all kind of from like different places, or is there kind of a theme within the album of that? Now that's what you're saying. There's like something like I've written like a few songs, and it's so hard for me to like tie songs together. Did you guys try to do that? You know what I mean? Like a theme within the album. I've always been like enamored with bands that do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like kind of either the music goes song to song to song, or there's like a general theme within the album. Was that the idea, or was it more just songs all came about and you just put them into an album, not to like, take away some mystery from the band?
No, that would be really cool, but no. It's
no,
songs we wrote at practice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
rock and roll, and then not talking shit at
Yeah.
all. I get it.
Definitely not a concept album.
Right.
I think you probably could find some continuity between all the songs, but overall, I don't think we went for that. They just all sort of
Right.
are in this album together.
Rock and roll.
No.
So how have you guys been working on this since the last time we talked? Has this been? Was there songs?
No.
No.
It's basically been done.
For like
Okay.
This
over
whole time.
a year.
Yep. I think we did it.
And you guys just waited the whole time just because of obvious circumstances?
Let's just say we weren't
Yeah, because
waiting.
it was like,
we were lazy.
Right.
We're trying to.
no, not exactly. It was just kind of like, what are we gonna do with it?
Gosh.
Mhm.
Because like you can't like So not like we could do a tour.
Yeah.
We can't even really play live. You know, and after a while, it was just like, well, let's just put it out. You know,
Yeah.
like, what are we gonna do? Sit on it for like forever?
So things are I mean, I'm in Portland, so I'm assuming it's not that far different from the way Seattle is going. It seems like things are starting to, you know, I was just talking to a few people about getting ready to start booking in the next month. Is that in the cards for you guys, or
Like limited capacity, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Initially we were working on building out this studio that we're in right now, and you know, that's what we did for the like early part of the pandemic, and then it just kept getting worse and worse. So
Right.
Robbie and I are in another group that also practices here, and we just canceled all practices and started like, you know, recording stuff on our own, and then, you know, editing it, and Robbie like, you know, putting the work in the cloud and stuff like that. And that kind of sucks, but I think that by like mid-May, end of May, we'll be ready to start getting together and gigging again. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I hope so.
I hope it's that soon, but we'll see.
have you guys
Yeah.
been talking to any venues? Is it looking like any of the local venues up there are going to start booking bands, or?
Not that I know of.
The only one that I've heard
I don't
of
know
is
of
like
anything.
some friends of ours in Tacoma who are opening up, like, it's funny because it's like this super small like craft mead company, but they're doing like assigned seating for like 15 people, you know, for like underground metal bands and stuff. And I just think that sounds like the coolest thing, you know.
And also so not metal.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, it's not a lot of shows where there's more than 20 people
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
That's true.
Makes you feel good when you fill all the seats, right?
Yeah.
Right. Sold out.
I mean, playing shows is great, and I want to do it as soon as possible. But like, we want it to be safe for everyone. And,
No, absolutely.
you know, if it's gonna be like not a great show because of all the like weird like policies you gotta like put in place, like there's no point in doing it. You know what I mean?
Also, we should probably practice a little bit.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, a year if you haven't been practicing.
We haven't practiced since what, November?
We did record
that's rough.
We recorded a single with like a Hawkwind cover and an original song, but with only like one or two people in the studio at the same time, and that seemed pretty safe. And it was really fun to record that. I think. You have fun, Robbie?
I did have fun. It just also took like 4 times as long as it normally should have because of the process. But like, it was good to be doing something. But that's going to come out like quite a bit later,
a couple months
after the album.
Did you guys run into that a lot with like having someone in and not being able to have a bunch of people in to do it all at once? Like you record something, then someone else comes in and you like realize a problem down the line, like, oh shit, like I don't know, I foresee like something like that would happen. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh damn it, like that's not gonna work, and it's like fuck, now we got to get A back in here to redo that because that fuck blah blah blah. Did you run into that? I'm assuming you would run into that.
We ran into like things didn't work out how we thought they would, but we just kind of powered through it. And like,
I mean, and that's
things just
people who were in there would just do like extra stuff or like whatever to try to like make up for something, and then we just kind of had to sift through it later. It was just kind of like, oh, let's get more experimental here for a second, and then I'm sure it'll all work out in the end.
Right.
yeah, you just roll it.
heck.
Roll with
Instead
it.
of redoing stuff, it would just be better to do extra stuff.
Heck yeah. So what's the plan for like release? You guys gonna do like a few songs, or is it all just gonna come out at one time, or?
For the album?
Yeah,
or
for the album.
The single thing of the album. Well, we released 2 songs already as singles.
Okay.
And then
the full album will be on the
there's-
16th.
We have videos too. Yeah, then the 16th is the full album.
Okay.
Yeah,
the videos
I
are
watched
out
the
too.
video. I watched the video for Hepatitis X. I like the green light in the saxophone. Because Eric, if you're gonna have a saxophone, you gotta have light in it.
You gotta have,
Yeah.
That was our pandemic video. That was really fun to film.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so like unprepared. I've literally been like social media blind for the last few months. I've just been not doing it. My only
Good
thing
on
has
you.
been this show, and then I go yeah, and then Brad's kind of been the one dealing with all you guys. So sorry, I'm so unprepared. I told him off the bat. I was like, oh no, it'll be great. I was like, I'll have all kinds of things to talk to him about.
I'm with you on that, man. That's a healthy choice.
Yeah.
It's better to stay off. It's better to stay off social media, honestly.
Yeah, just too much.
Better for your
One
brain.
thing I
just
found
too
out
much.
when we were doing the remote recording and like not having like feedback from other people is that like I don't know how to do that very well. Like so much of my like it sounds so lame. So much of my process is like working things out with other people and like getting the groove together. And it's like they're like, do keyboards on a song that we've never played together now. And I'm like, oh shit. So I did like way too much, 8 layers of stuff. And then when I mixed it, I turned it way up and then sent it to Robbie, and he goes, oh, well, this needs to be 100% quieter than
it sounded cool as hell though.
It sounds cool. I had no roadmap because it wasn't like I wasn't seeing if it was clicking with other people, which was
right.
So I foresee like a bunch of problems obviously with that. Did things come out of it that were super cool? You know what I mean? That wouldn't have happened in a group setting. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, that actually kicks ass. That it, you know what I mean? Like, instead of having a bunch of people in a room and you're all trying to figure something out at the same time,
I think so.
Or like, okay, jamming out, you're like, wow, that's actually really cool that it worked out. One, single person at a time, something come out of it.
Ludog
Hey!
has entered the chat.
Robbie, do you want to speak to that?
There were definitely cool things that
we got
happened because we did way too much by ourselves.
You're out of frame.
Like there's a bunch of guitar parts I wouldn't have ever put down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Because I'd be like waiting for Nate to come in with a sax part, but like he hadn't recorded anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
And going back and editing it, it's like, okay, I gotta take out all this guitar, but like there's definitely a few cool parts that like I wouldn't have done. I would have just been playing rhythm, However, circling back to Earth 3, which we did record before the pandemic, where all of us were together in the same room, I definitely prefer that. I think we all prefer that, where we can hear each other. And, the idea, like you almost, sometimes you don't even have to talk about it. You just listen to what people are playing.
Yeah.
I did like,
and it was so much quicker.
I did like the challenge of playing with a click track for the first time. Because I think everything else we've recorded so far has been a rhythm, all the rhythm playing together live with no click track. So the demos would be a little different in that sense too.
Do you think that'll be something more like implemented? That's always, that's always been a fun thing to like kind of argue with drummers about, is like, should we get real into click tracks or should we not really get into click tracks? And do you think that'll be like, once this kind of all blows over and everyone's back in the same room, will that be something implemented more, or with the click track? Did you like doing it?
Zane.
I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I feel like going with feel, a little bit of feel. Not always.
Yeah.
I feel like it turns out better if you have a group that can play with a good tempo without a click track. I think it's always better to go without it, because then you get those natural like it speeds up a little bit into the chorus, and then like when it comes out into the bridge, it slows down just a little, but it's not like drastic. Those things make the song more exciting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you can't get those with a click track, even if you like map out different tempos across the song. Like it just never sounds
I absolutely agree with you. It's so much more fun to get. I feel like a lot of times you'll have the click track and it gets less freeing. It like tones everyone down. They're like, oh, I don't feel like we can like let it kind of go places, especially when like writing a song.
Sometimes you just want to blaze, man. You just want to like
man.
As the bassist, I find it impossible to listen to the click track. I had to take the headphones off and listen to the drums.
Yeah. No, it's incredibly difficult. I hate the click in the background too. It would be almost impossible to do it though, person by person by person, without going with the click track.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's evil though. Like I'm sure there will be like a song later at some point where we're like, yeah, a click track is the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I think mostly our ethos is definitely like playing live together as a group.
Hell yeah.
You know, and if you can do that well without a click track, you might as well just not use one.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the Earth 3 songs we've fleshed out.
We have our click track right here.
Oh, thanks. Man.
There you go. Hell yeah.
All the Earth 3 songs we sort of fleshed out live, and so like the 2 demo songs are way different. They're just more I don't know what the word would be. I don't know. Clean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we trimmed a lot of extra parts that we would normally keep in if you like are gigging or in playing a song over and over live. We were like, no, let's just keep it to just verse and chorus, nothing else. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, if we jammed on them as a group and recorded them like that, they probably would have been like 3 or 4 minutes longer.
Yeah.
We hate long songs.
And you know, some of the songs on Earth 3 are like that, where the like song part is like 4 minutes, but there's like a bunch of like instrumental jamming.
I got a question for you guys. What have you guys been up to musically during this? I guess since last May.
You know,
listening to?
Listening to? Or
yeah, Brad doesn't play.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry.
No. It's all good.
I took drum lessons for 2 years.
Hell yeah.
Back in Sandpoint, but then I stopped.
Yeah, and with me, as soon as the pandemic hit, it wasn't the pandemic. I was kind of on that trajectory anyways, with just all the people I was playing with just had other shit going on. And then about 2 months ago, once I started I broke my ring finger about 2 months ago.
Oh.
And as soon, like one of the most important fingers. And as soon as that happened, that's when I got the most inspiration to play again. Like, you know, when you can't play, I was like, man, I just want to, every day I was like, man, I just want to go play. So I've been slacking hard. I haven't played at all. I want to. The last 2 months has been killing me.
Yeah, he had a cast on his.
That's why you gotta get into like synth music.
Yeah. I miss my guitar. I want to go play my guitar so goddamn bad.
Damn, that's brutal, man.
Killing me. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
You shouldn't have hit your finger with a hammer.
Yeah.
Bad
Blasted
decision.
with a hammer.
I broke my
Compromise. What are you gonna do?
I broke my like pinky knuckle when I was fighting a car.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Those damn cars.
Yeah,
You remember?
those damn cars.
He was hanging with me.
But then we had a gig like a week later or something. In the other group that Robbie and I are in, and we played it. And I really should have canceled it. It was the worst decision I could have possibly made.
Oh my God.
Because I was just in like extreme pain. I had to load drums with like a broken knuckle. And it was
Oh my God.
so stupid. But it was like exactly that same thing. And like it made me like, I will conquer this. It cannot stop.
Yeah.
And that's a bad decision to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we all have stories about playing shows or whatnot with broken hand or broken appendix? Because I remember playing the last Dead Baby festival we played. I had a broken hand still. I played it in a cast, which I thought was super cool.
There was also the show that I couldn't play because I had broken ribs.
And you can't really play a set.
That's right.
But you guys played, and it was great.
It was naked.
It was naked.
I played once when I had a thrown out.
You were lying on a couch. Or... I remember that. Yeah.
When I propped myself up against the pole.
Oh,
wait, El Corazon.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, El Corazon.
So what?
There's like this. Have you guys been to Seattle?
A few times. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm definitely not privy to a lot of shit in Seattle.
Well, El Corazon is like a sort of like Mike Thrasher presents. He puts on a bunch of shows in Portland too. That's like it's sort of like a where like corporate underground metal tours and hardcore and like Rancid and stuff like that. Or like Unwritten Law will play a reunion tour, like that kind of thing. Anyway, they're closed now, officially closed, and they're gonna.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that place has like a 30-year history,
like forever.
Yeah, and like
Somebody
it used
else
to,
will pick it up.
what did it used to be
Wow.
called, Nate?
Graceland and
Graceland.
off ramp.
Off ramp, yeah,
The off ramp was the '90s when it was like super
yeah. They just
popular.
So no one will know the pain of having the pole
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
way.
The very
again.
first show that I attended when I moved to Seattle it happened to be Skeletor was opening, and I saw Robbie and Pat play at El Corazon.
Wow.
yeah.
Pretty weird, and then like 5 years later, I ended up joining up with them.
Yeah, so I think like more than 30 years.
That's crazy.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, it wasn't the greatest place. The bouncers were like super violent.
No, it was terrible. It was a
It was a
terrible venue, but
Still sad
Yeah,
to see
because it
go.
existed.
Yeah, exactly.
It actually existed. Yeah.
somebody else
Yeah.
will pick it up. It's a historic place. Somebody else will pick it up and turn it back into the off ramp or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying for 6 months, and I really hope it's the way it goes. Is that when this is kind of all over and everything starts opening back up, that the want for like local music will at least hold on for a year. I'd hope, you know what I mean, to where people want to kind of support the underground push, because it's the last I would say since the 70s. It's really hard being kind of a band without something on the radio or something like that. And I'm hoping people all stuck in their house will come to like realize how fun it is to go out. And then so not only for the bands, but then also the venues, like, kind of please God, hold on to all these like small venues, which is really the only place for a lot of bands to like get, to get out there and do that. That
Right.
sucks for that. And I'm sure again, I'm so out of the loop on social media and shit like that, but I'm sure a lot of places in Portland, kind of fingers crossed that all these places can just hold on,
Yeah, I wonder if at some point
through the pandemic.
they'll realize that giving 2 drink tickets to the band is not payment.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to. I mean, totes my goats. It sucks so bad being a musician trying to focus on being a musician, but then also to like the venues. I mean, it's hard because a lot of people don't go out and support it. You know what I mean? Like you do a $5 cover and they're like, oh, I don't want to pay a $5 cover. It's like, come on, man, there's shit to pay for here. Like, I mean,
Right.
not to hate on fans, but hopefully that hopefully that fucking increases to where
I think
there's a good
people will be
push.
coming out.
Yeah, I do too. I
I
bank
think
on it.
I think at least for a while, the shows are going to be really awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm like hoping at least 6 months people are just gonna love it. You know what I mean? Just like fuck, we're finally able to go do shit, support bands, blah blah blah.
I think you brought this up when we talked last time too, Eric, where you're saying, since everybody's been cooped up inside, maybe there'll just be this boom when the live shows, live venues start opening up again.
Mhm.
So it's just, I mean, I think that will happen. It's just been, a year plus or whatever instead of 3 months.
So even more so, hopefully now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm pretty resigned to not caring about the money part of things,
Right, yeah.
and like just wanting people to be like, play the song I like,
Right.
Yeah.
and
Let's have fun.
yeah, because you really
Chicken
do,
booties.
especially when recording is like the most fun part for me. But you make that so people will listen to it, not so you can have it on your own hard drive,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So what's the next steps? You guys gonna start working on more recordings, or is it just kind of focusing on maybe practicing up?
We have, I mean, Lewis will tell you.
We have a back catalog of stuff to work on.
Yeah, we have enough
Sure, yeah.
bones of songs that we could create a full meat song in a couple of months and put a full album out.
But
like-
Yeah, as soon as we can start jamming, we got
been a while since
stuff
we've played.
that'll just roll out.
Yeah, because we were practicing for a while.
We got some really good ideas too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
rock and roll. We never met, by the way. I'm Eric, the guy in the back. What was it again?
I'm Lewis.
Lewis, the bass player.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, always late.
The
Yeah.
bass player is always late, man.
Come on, Governor.
Yep.
Well, rock and roll. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys
Yes.
want to add? Any news or anything you want to throw in?
Just want to reiterate, Earth 3 will be released on April 16th. You can find it on all the streaming platforms and check out our Bandcamp.
To pre-order. We also have 2 music videos up on YouTube. I don't know if these guys talked about it previously, but there's one for Tomb Wagon and there's one for Hepatitis X. Definitely check those out.
We have the channel on YouTube, so they'll be on there. And if you go to our Instagram page, you can find all the links to all those.
Awesome possum. And post episode, send any information you want to Brad, and he'll throw all that stuff inside, notes and stuff like that, and all the links should be, on there.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for taking the time, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I love
right
Hepatitis X.
Thanks
No,
for
thank
talking
you.
to us.
Yeah.
Awesome possum. Well, thank you guys.
Go ahead
Until
and
next time.
go ahead and hit
Oh.
like and subscribe.
Yeah. Thank
Awesome
you.
possum.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you guys.
Bye.
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 Rock and roll.
Who know I